Is our microphone working? Yes, it is. Witcher 3. Oh, that cutscene's broken again. Oh, great. The cutscenes have stopped playing. Hang on, I guess I should Google it, shouldn't I? Wow, they are not shy about her outfit. I'm going to Google this. Witcher 3, no sound in cutscenes. Oh, it's because I've... Okay, hang on. It's because I changed the sound device after I started the game by the look of it. So it seems like it's working. Oh. What? I'll restart. I love doing tech support for myself. Explo puts a nice little watermark in the bottom of my screen. I didn't notice that.
Triss could not help Geralt.
There we go.
She did direct him to Corrine Tilly, an Oneromancer and an expert at finding the lost and the missing. Guided by Corrine Tilly, the Witcher had a dream. In it, Ciri and I, the bard Dandelion, were reunited. Geralt now knew that to find Ciri, he would first need to find his dear old friend.
Oh, where am I? I was carrying on with the main quest. Was I? I completed Gwent here. I did Gwent here and I did some fist fighting here, and then that's all I've done. There's a drug analog, because of course there is. There always is for some reason. What am I doing? I'm going to visit this guy on the way and see if he's got any Gwent. Oh, it's been a long day.
Watch where you're walking.
Oh, a bit emotionally intense. I should turn the lights off so I can see what's going on. I won't carry on with the main quest till Percy gets here, because I wouldn't want him to miss it. But I will look for some Gwent. I found generally the buildings in this game quite irritating to get into.
Name? They fix it for you?
No. Said I'll come to the wrong place. But he sell dumplings.
It seemed very intuitive to get into. No, maybe it's just, I don't know. They're structured in such a way that you constantly come up on the back of them all the time. Hattori. That is an awful name for a blacksmith. Oh, I'm feeling negative today.
What do you have on offer?
Redanian dumplings, speciality of the house, heartily recommended. Blimey. A vatgun in my establishment? It can't be.
How do you know I'm a witcher?
You joking? Silver blades. Who else uses them? Crafted in Mahakam, am I right? Must be about 40 inches long.
An elven sword expert. You must be Ibir Hattori.
Ah, indeed. I am.
Geralt of Rivia. Heard a lot of good things about you.
A pleasure, Geralt. How might I help you? Care to try a dumpling?
Sure, I'll try a dumpling.
Mmm. Tasty.
Glad to hear it. Anything else I can do for you?
Surely he'd recognise me from my my Gwent card. My Gwent card's really good. It's a 15.
Looking for a good swordsmith. No one?
3 swords on your back. A bit much, don't you think?
Good one. But all jests aside, you make swords anymore?
Really. It's dumplings now. I must make a living. But I miss the hammer, anvil, and bellows. Oh, the heat of the forge. Were it not for that swiving Van Horn.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I shan't greet a witcher with dumplings. Come, let me show you something.
Literally did just create a witcher with dumplings. What are you talking about?
Quite a collection. Premium quality, too.
Thank you. I've kept these as mementos.
Damn shame you don't make them anymore. I'd gladly replace what I have with this kind of steel. Someone with your skills? The hell are you needing dough?
This might surprise you. The pay is better. But above all, it's much safer. Food vendors rarely disappear or end up as cripples.
I see. Someone controlling Novigrad's smithing market?
Not officially, though all supplies go through Ernst Van Horn. And they say he plays cards with Cleaver. Frequently.
Oh, I met someone who works for Cleaver earlier. Like there was this random dwarf wandering around. But I couldn't find any actual Cleaver.
Ernst Van Horn. Who's that?
Modest beginnings. A small dockside workshop. However, he proved extremely ambitious. He knew he could not compete with other swordmakers on skill alone, so he resorted to other methods.
Other methods?
Oh, hey, Asa.
A bit of slander here, buying business debt cheaply and taking over there. And whenever the competition was a ploughing non-human, he'd accuse them of being Havakars.
Is that how he did you in?
I did not give up without a fight. I went to Town Hall, negotiated. Alas, it was all in vain. He'd already enlisted Cleaver's protection, and in Novigrad, few dare get in Cleaver's way.
Tried negotiating? Making a deal?
With Van Horn? Do you jest? He's a proper heartless bastard. Either play by his rules and pay him, or go out of business.
I see.
But I shan't complain. Dumplings have proven an excellent source of income. It's just... well...
You miss the heat of the forge. Tried getting supplies from someone else?
Those rogues of the underworld control all the sources. How am I to talk to them? Unless... would you be willing to help me?
I actually quite like the economics. That like they're making a really intriguing economic point here that I quite like. That like what they're talking about is conventional business economics in terms of like if you think about like the way that Edison and Tesla are often contrasted, with Edison being like the mass market guy, and Tesla being like the mad genius who creates the best things. And like the charitable reading of Edison is that he was the man that was able to bring things to market in a practical, mass production manner. But if I'm an individual hero slaying monsters in a fantasy world, I don't need mass production. I don't want the ones that are the best profit on average across the whole industry. I want individual excellence, because I want the best sword possible from the best swordmaster possible. I mean, I think in practice he would probably survive as a swordmaster. If he really is such a good swordmaster, I think it's unlikely he would be driven out of business in such a way. But even so, yeah, I like that. That's an intriguing like setup that they've got there. Like conventional business economics don't apply to me because I'm a hero. I'm such a hero. But then I guess you would, like in the real world, if you need something built to very exact specifications by a master, which is a problem that occurs in conventional modern business. People need bespoke solutions to things all the time. You can do that. You just pay them. Like you just pay the guy. You don't need to like mass market stuff. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I like the implication. It's neat.
Want me to help you get your supplies? How?
Just come with me to a meeting. As my bodyguard, it'll bolster my confidence. Truth be told, not so long ago, I tried negotiating some iron deliveries with one of the King of Beggars' men.
Right. King wouldn't worry about an embargo Cleaver imposed.
It's just... he demanded an inordinately large share of the profits. I thought you might help me negotiate. I don't mean gratis. I'm certain we can agree on a fee.
Could I choose something from your collection?
Oh, forget this rubbish. I shall forge you a sword fit for killing gods.
I don't know. Criminal underworld. Not really sure I want to meddle with them.
I badly need your help. Van Horn is a Van Horsen. He must be taught a lesson. I'd be eternally grateful. Plate armor, yours. Or perhaps you'd like a catapult or a trebuchet.
Why would he, what? That's a very different skill set. Trebuchet.
Fine. Arrange the meeting.
Splendid. Meet me after dark, near the crane at the docks.
How did I end up on this quest? Oh, it's a difficulty 24. Might ignore that for now then. Waiting for Percy though. All I wanted to do was play you at Gwent, dude. Like, literally just wanted to play you at Gwent. But no. That's why I don't like cities, because I can't... Like, I carefully explored all of this, and I'm pretty sure I went there. Did I? I don't remember now. I definitely went there, played that guy, he was quite hard. I find it extremely difficult to keep track of which parts I visited and which parts I haven't. I guess I can just carry on with the main quest, can't I? Percy specifically wanted to see he wanted to see the entrance to Novigrad, and he wanted to see return to Crookback Bog.
All we wanted was... Don't give a flying fuck what you wanted. Get!
Oh, Zoltan Shive, I've got his card.
You're the only one who's made a mistake. Now stump up some crowds, quick!
I'm knackered.
You.
Leave him alone.
And who might you be? Temple Guard undercover?
Call me an admirer of law and order.
Made a mistake coming to this town, then.
You're making the mistake. Leave him alone.
And if we don't?
This man's not worth your efforts. His shop's drowning in debt.
You're right. Even looks like a pauper.
I beg to differ. Don't even know why I bothered the bugger. My apologies, and fare thee well.
I, gotta go brush my teeth.
Go home, merchant, and try not to come around here anymore.
I will. I mean, I won't. I mean both, yes. Thank you, sir.
What? What? Right, what's the main quest anyway? It is Broken Flowers. Oh no. We're going to visit Dandelion in a brothel.
Oh.
This isn't going to go well, is it? What? Why did it lead me to the locked door at the back? Classic.
Next time I'll rip your fucking legs off and shove them up your arse till you've toes for teeth.
Oh, he was a character in The Witcher 1, I think. Oh, hey, Percy.
Get out in the nick of time, as always.
Zoltan, With your boot to someone's ass, as always. Who were those men?
Local colour. I wasn't gone more than a moment. Long enough for them to turn our home into theirs. All right, time for some spring cleaning. I've got to boot them all out. Care to join me?
Oh, that's why the stash was in here. Are we gonna? Is this another fist fight?
Let's end this.
Rumble time!
Reminds me of our days of war.
Yeah, almost like we never left Bergen.
Ah, please. That went well. Now we can treat each other like the gods ordained. Ages, pal.
Hey, Zoltan. You look good.
Training plenty lately. What with the war on, no Mahakaman meat to be found, but Redanian lagers standing in just fine.
Oh, it's game audio. Look quiet.
You,
Hang on.
though, you've withered a bit.
Hang on. I think that pauses. What have I done? What's wrong with my game audio?
Worrying you.
Is that better?
It's about Ciri.
Is that audio
I know
better now?
she came to Novigrad. Might still be here.
You mean she's come back? I'll be damned. I wonder if I'd recognize her. How many years is it now? Six, 7? But what'd she be doing here?
Hiding, probably. She might be in danger.
See her in your dreams?
Couple times. Her and the Wild Hunt.
Oh, not good.
Not at all, but I know she came here and contacted Dandelion.
We've a wee problem then.
So I fixed it now.
Where's Dandelion?
I'd like to know that myself. Maybe he could explain what the hell's going on. I just barely returned, as you saw. Expecting to come home to a hot leg of boar and some cold ale. What do you find instead? A shite storm. Dandelion gone, the tavern chock full of bums. Have no clue what happened.
Let's look around. Might find something that'll put us on his trail.
Prime idea. I say we start on the ground floor. It's where he sat and wrote.
What I found is a massive amount of loot.
A note from a grateful mute.
10 barrels of Toussaint Dry, 5 cases of sodden triple mead. Nothing here.
No. That's exactly what we're looking for. It's his planner.
Seems Dandelion's taking the tavern business seriously.
If you only knew. Gives it everything. Not seen him this obsessed ever. Seems when he inherited this fine establishment, it came with some fine responsibilities. Bookkeeping among them. He also made a habit of noting down the times of his meetings, official and private. So, who'd he been seeing of late? Here it is. Seems he's only been meeting women of late, the dog.
Not a bad idea. Dandelion's pretty loose-lipped. Might have blabbed something to a lady friend that'll put us on his trail.
That's what I'm counting on. We should divide these somehow. Perhaps... fuck it. I'll ask the lassies in my half, you interrogate the ones in yours. Suit you?
Zoltan, wait. This is in verse.
And you figure that's a... because...
Wonderful. Meet me back here when you're done. Share our findings.
Right you are. Need to do a wee bit of tidying before I go. Cannot stomach the idea of coming back to this mess. And you'd be wise to read your bit before you scurry off. If you need anything, I'll be next door.
No, I haven't done Big City Players yet. I haven't played since last time. Well, no, I did the one fist fight in the inn I was in before. And then while I was waiting for you, Percy, I was dawdling around looking for side quests. And then I came here. A letter from a female admirer. Lovely. Dandelion's planner. Rosa van Atra, like a rose abashed of its crimson hue, fair Rosa would sink into humours blue. She shunned her lessons in civility to swing her dwarf with agility. A charming garden-enclosed villa in Gildorf. Molly. Though well she knows the touch of silken lace, she shuns not straw when gripped in lust's embrace. Gildorf, villa next to morgue. What? Vespula, through timid in looks, no adventurer did skip her. My heart melts when she asks, ever had a Big Dipper? Far Corner's laundry near the mouth of the Pontar. Marabella, though her cries are divine when behind closed doors. Standing on stage, her squawks are drowned by snores. The Bits near Pauper Square. Alihala, figure most rare, her nature jewel. Look deep in her eyes or be made a fool. Tailor shop across from the tannery. Lovely. What a delightful verse. Oh yeah, that's my stash. I've got loads of like random browns in my stash. I should probably just vendor them all, but I'm wondering whether I need to disassemble some of them, so I've been sort of hesitant. There's it's like gnome weaponry or something. Elf weaponry seems to disassemble into dark steel, and then there's like gnome weaponry that disassembles into something even better. It's what's it called? This weird stuff. That's the wrong. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, dark steel from Elvish weaponry. What was it called? I can't remember now. This stuff. Dimertium. That seems to come from like gnome or dwarf weapons or something, and I'm assuming I'm going to need like make the high level crafted gear, so I'm just sort of squatting on it. I'm also like, I'm not convinced by the economics of disassembly are quite disappointing, because it costs a lot to disassemble things. It's a weird system. I don't really understand why it exists, because you can it seems to be built on like simulation grounds, so like it would cost a lot to disassemble an item of this type, therefore it does, even though the resulting materials are worthless. Like it's like you could disassemble this item for 30 gold, and what you get from it is like a 2 gold material or something like that, which is just an odd way to build a game system. I don't know why they would bother to do that, because it's fundamentally it's a system about having like just absolute tons of trash all the time. That stuff is rare and needed. Like Dimertium, yeah, that was my assumption. It sounded like fancy metal I would probably need later, so rather than vendoring those swords, I've been hanging on to them. But it costs like 200 gold to disassemble them or something, so I haven't... I'm not, yeah, I mean, the other thing is, like, although I'm doing this a lot because I love, like, just randomly picking everything up, I don't like it when an RPG is built this way. I mean, I talked about it before, right? But, like, the stuff that I'm picking up here is useful, like, and yes, I could click on every box and then scan it for useful stuff. I think that's how you're supposed to play Skyrim, is, like, you're supposed to look in every container, but only pick it up if it's useful. But that just doubles or more the effort of looting every container. Like if I'm gonna go loot every container, then when I come back through again, all the containers are still lootable, so I have to check them all again because I can't remember what I've looted and what I haven't. Whereas by looting everything, I know at least I got everything, and like, you know, I've found a decent amount. Like if we assume that Dimertium is the only valuable thing in the game, which isn't true, but even if we assume that it was, you know, I've got a decent amount of Dimertium just from looting every single container in the game, just from what I assume is like a random rare drop table. And I don't get it. I don't get it as a game design. I don't understand building an RPG this way. It makes no sense to me. But it seems quite popular, like this idea that there's just thousands of containers everywhere that you just steal everything from all of them. So odd. That's a weird little corridor. Kind of like it. It's mysterious. Oh, is that someone playing Gwent? God damn it! Why can't why can't I pick up the Gwent cards? Because it would be stealing, and I would never pick up something that was someone else's. I mean, I guess okay. If I take like a game design perspective on it, then this sort of mechanic is it's causing me to engage with this content slightly more at an extremely low development cost. So like, you know, rather than putting some sort of unique content at the top of this inn, they can just throw some random containers down. They don't even need to like handcraft a loot table. Because like if the way I mean because I don't know what engine The Witcher 3 uses. Witcher 1 was based on Neverwinter Nights, which I know quite well. And in Neverwinter Nights, when you build a level, like you build a barrel, and the barrel by default is like lootable and has a random barrel drop table on it. And so every barrel you place down in the world is lootable by default. You actually have to turn them off if you don't want them to be lootable. So yeah, viewed from that perspective, it increases engagement with the world without
Still here?
dev time.
Looking for something?
Just checking to see that everything's in place. Buggers might have hauled something off for pawning.
Actually, glad you're still here. Wanted to ask you about someone. Though well she knows the touch of silken lace, she shuns not straw when gripped in lust's embrace.
Molly keeps things tidy for the Baroness Lavalette.
A baroness within reach, and he settled for a chambermaid?
Dandelion's not one to judge folk by their station. You know that. Like he says, in the alcove, we're all equals.
Yeah. Guess a true poet observes life in all its aspects, examines it from all perspectives. If I didn't know him better, I'd say he was jealous about this Marabella.
Oh, I doubt it. Former pupil. And well, the tales he told me about her.
Doubt I want to hear them.
Probably better off not. Things between them took a turn for the strange at some point.
Meaning?
She had him wearing mummers' costumes. Took to calling him Christian, referring to herself as Anastasia.
Huh, truly perverse.
He didn't ken half of it. Called him a stallion once. That's the fool took it as a compliment, till she pulled a bit in the reins into her cupboard. Oh, poor bastard fled out the window.
I think they're above 50 Shades of Grey references, personally. I think that's a little below them.
Vespula. Name rings a bell. She threw his knickers out the window.
That's her.
Hollered something about him being a scoundrel with a voice like a consumptive pheasant.
That's her.
Threw flower pots at him.
Guess soul flames never die.
Like a rose abashed of its crimson hue, fair Rosa would sink into humor's blue. She shunned her lessons in civility, to swing her dwarf with agility. Dwarf. Never suspected he'd be so humble.
Dwarfs what Rosa var Atre named her Guihir. Well chosen, eh?
All right. But Var Atra? Her dad happened to be the Nilfgaardian ambassador?
Yes.
Wouldn't say that. Had a brief conversation with him at the palace in Vizima.
Well, then you've a good notion of the kind of bloke he is. Commissioned Dandelion to tutor Rosa and her sister in the art of rhetoric. But we Rosa preferred swordplay.
How dare she reject the great bard in favor of a common swordmaster?
More than one, it seems. Week on week, we get fresh gossip about her thrashing another instructor. So bad he resigns. Word has it her dad's now looking to hire her next victim. I mean, instructor.
A figure most rare, her nature dual. Look deep in her eyes or be made a fool. Well, well, seems fascinated with this one.
Not without reason. Never been much for elven women myself, but this one's exceptional. Dare say Francesca Finderbeard be jealous.
You want to take this one then?
Nah, you can have her.
Why?
See, elven beauty's like a young Beauclair wine, whereas I prefer vodka straight up.
That's quite engaging because like that was a fun way to do exposition. The characters were like chatting to each other. There was kind of a mixture of personal opinion and history, and the two characters were both. Yeah, that was good. That was a solid conversation. I don't feel like I learned anything,
Well, know about all I wanted to
but
know. Thanks for your help.
it was solidly written because it was. I mean, my basic judge is like, am I bored? Am I bored in the conversation? Do I want to start skipping it? If I don't feel like I want to start skipping it, then I think it's doing pretty well. This feels like maybe it was intended to be a puzzle, but then it just, I don't know. But I haven't been given enough information, right? Like, I guess this is all the criticism people were giving at the time of the map markers that. In both Witcher 3 and Skyrim. I think I saw videos. I can't remember if they were comparing Witcher 2 and Witcher 3. Or Witcher 1 and Witcher 3, I can't remember. But it was contrasting the quest design of the previous game, where they gave you fairly detailed instructions on what you needed to do and where you needed to go, because you needed to figure it out. But then in Witcher 3, they just say, go find my friend, end of conversation, and then there's a map marker.
Welcome, welcome. Do come in.
Oh, hello. I talked to you before. Elihal. Oh, I thought it was a list of women.
Dandelions. Looking for Elihal.
You've come to the right spot. How might I be of service? Need something shortened? Patch your trousers, darn your socks.
You Elihal?
Yes. Now pick your jaw up off the floor.
Sorry, I thought Elihal was one of Dandelion's girlfriends.
Oh, so it's that. Wait here. Any better?
So you're...
Elihal.
Did you and Dandelion... I mean... How did you two meet?
I met him one night in a tavern. He was blind drunk.
I am being it. Just that way. That's not heteronormative, is it? Well, I suppose it is, but also gender normative.
What happened?
What do you think? We spoke.
That's it.
I'm not sure what you're getting at, but I should make one thing clear. Men don't interest me. Told him that as well. Luckily, Dandelion's an open-minded fellow. We had a lovely evening. He became a loyal customer afterwards.
Dandelion visit your shop often?
I tried many times to talk him into a decent doublet. Sadly, he'd only come in to get a button rear fixed or a hole patched.
When did you last see him?
Some time ago. He brought in one of Zoltan's jerkins, insisted I sew on an extra pocket. Odd as requests go, I had the distinct feeling he'd actually come to talk.
No, it wasn't that I was assuming that they were women because they were flings. I wasn't clear whether they were flings or not. I don't know who this character is, but my assumption is that because he's a terrible poet, that he probably writes poetry about women that he likes rather than women he's actually been involved with. That's just my assumption based on the information I have. But I was assuming it because the dwarf said he's mostly taken to talking to ladies recently, and then pulled out a list. Like he was reading a list and like, oh, I see they're all ladies. What did he say about? I can't remember what he said about Elahal now. Did I even ask him about Elahal?
What did you and Dandelion talk about? He asked about anything in particular?
Let me think. Had an ordinary chat, really. Although, indeed, he did keep asking about Kalkstein. If Dandelion and I hadn't laid our cards on the table at the start, I might have suspected he had a history with the alchemist. He spoke like a lovesick beau. In fact, he desperately wished to meet with him.
Kalkstein's in Novigrad? Wouldn't mind seeing him myself.
You're too late, I fear. The witch hunters nabbed him recently, burned him at the stake in Hierarch Square. But as he perished, the goings-on impressive. Fiery beasts circled his pyre, then rose into the sky and exploded to form letters.
Really? What did they spell?
Radovid sucks flaccid cock.
I know this is none of my business, but why do
I dress up? As a child, I dreamt of becoming a Doppler when I grew up. I became a tailor instead. Discovered clothing. Costumes can express all the complexities of one's personality. I'm a Redanian countess one day, a dockside thug the next. That is true freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Have you never thought to become someone else? Even for a moment? Must be horribly boring being a witcher all the time.
I managed to stay interested. Thanks for your help, and nice to meet you.
I can help with much more. If you need new trousers or a vest, you know where to find me.
We've already played Gwent. Or either we've played Gwent or I've established that you don't play Gwent and therefore I'm not interested in you. One of the two. Laundry.
I will get you every last copper, with interest. Give me a week, please.
Horson's no banker. He's an honest man. You pay on time, you get protection. You don't pay...
Help!
What you hollering for, stupid wench? What are you hoping for? A knight in shining armour?
Close enough.
Keep out of this, Greyhead, not your concern.
Vespula's got someone else's protection now.
Really? Who's that be?
Mine. Offered her a better rate.
All right. So, let's see if you're a good bargain or just cheap shit.
Shut up and fight.
Tables are the best kind of way of fighting.
Covered in blood, all of it. So much work for naught.
No need to thank me. It was nothing.
Sorry. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful, but everything I had, I just lost.
Relax. It'll come out in the wash.
Of course it will. Just gotta soak it in white vinegar, but that's not my point. Junior shan't forgive me. Either I'll close up shop myself or he'll burn me down.
Sorry. Didn't think about that.
A woman's lot. Men have their fun and we're stuck with a mess. Oh well, I suppose I must move to Oxenfurt. Professors need clean undergarments too.
Don't know if you remember. We've met.
I don't... Wait, I know you. You're that witcher I near clobbered with a vase when... Well...
When you kicked Dandelion out. Through the balcony. Actually, he's the reason I'm here. Know where he is?
Probably out whoring. That horse pheasant. That lying scoundrel.
Ouch. What did he do to get your goat?
Same thing as ever. Prize bullshitter came back, saying it was till death do we part this time. And no more than a week passed before I spotted him in Harbourside, strolling with some trollop on his arm. 'Twas the last straw. All those questions about the washerwomen at the bathhouse, then this. I beat him black and blue and threw him out on his ear.
Dandelion ask you about other washerwomen? Not terribly subtle even for him.
Maybe he likes some sudsy.
Maybe. But what did he ask about, exactly?
Oh, this and that, really. What's it like at the bathhouse? Have I got any friends there? What are their working hours? I don't know. Maybe he's looking to hire one for his tavern. Maybe I got all in a huff for no reason.
This woman he was with in the harbor. Who was she?
Claimed she was his niece from Kovir. Ha! Horvir, more likely. Corset so tight her eyes were popping out her head. His too, come to think of it. An artist or a whore. Doesn't much matter as they're one in the same.
ACS said there's an interview with this TV show actor where he talks about how they decided to tone down the womanizer element. Yeah, it's not. They've gone much more for like father figure in that one. It's interesting because like I mean, The Witch has become. There used to be other examples, but The Witcher now seems to be the highest profile example for like. So to be clear, this is not me giving my opinion. This is their framing of it. Like dark and gritty equals misogynistic. Like there's this whole kind of take of like, oh, it has to be that way to be realistic. Like if no one's shouting sexual threats at female characters, then it's not realistic enough. And it's kind of like people are allowed to make that as an aesthetic. It's a legitimate aesthetic, but it really bothers me when it's kind of defended. Like they chose to make that aesthetic. It's not like it's not better because it's realistic. It's just different. It's choosing to emphasize a particular aspect of life and focus on that. And I'm a bit suspect of it. Like why have you chosen to focus on that? You know, like you didn't have to. You could have made something else. And the defense is often that it's realistic, but I don't believe that to be true at all.
Thanks for
like
your help.
it is true to life in a sense, but
Listen,
it sort of ignores the
will I
bright
find
and good
Dandelion?
aspects of life.
Anything I should tell him?
No. I mean, tell him he's a two-faced snake, but it would be nice if he dropped by.
Oh, you meant Dandelion specifically, right? Okay. I mean, yeah. Well, I wasn't even thinking of Geralt. I was just thinking of the setting as a whole. But yeah. No, I guess yeah, because Geralt wasn't really a womanizer. But then the setting itself, you know, obviously the TV show version of the setting is a little bit more, like it's toned down compared to say Game of Thrones, which is like hyper vile. Where am I going? Right. Why is that yellow again? That's weird. I'm being really cautious exploring the city because I don't want to trigger random main quests and stuff. I guess it's supposed to be cool that you can kind of wander around and like just get cool content, but I preferred exploring the countryside a lot personally. I go pick up that quest and see what it is.
Got the courage to repeat that slander to my face?
Readily. You are a mutant, a freak, a useless relic of a bygone age that should be burned like a withered branch.
How many people's lives have you saved? From Bruxay, from Leshens?
That has no bearing.
Asked you a question. How many? There's something to think about, folks.
Preacher's fierce in the mouth, but holler at him and his tail slinks between his legs. Come on, people. But with fairness in your eyes.
Not sure I'd count that as a quest, personally. Feel a bit tricked by that exclamation mark. Haunted house and cheating merchant. Do no business with Dejonkia. He sold me a residence knowing it was haunted. Uh-oh. Oh, that's cool. If that's led to another quest, oh, that's great. Okay, yeah, okay, that's super fun. If it didn't just stop at the, like, oh yeah, well, I guess no one's going to live in that house, which is extremely unconvincing as a plan. I mean, obviously the usual choice logic applies, right? Which is I'm only getting access to that quest because I made a particular choice in the previous quest. Do the haunted house. I mean, I can do it now if you like. Go do it now. Just need to get out of Novigrad. It's the weekend, I don't need to be early to bed. It's really nicely delivered as well. Like, it's not that someone... I mean, obviously the billboard, the boards highlight on the map, which is great. I mean, that's just good anyway, because it's good UX to let me know that there's some content available. But then, it feels very organic, the way it's emerged from the world.
Oh, well, you wanted braids.
But I didn't want my hair pulled.
Can't have one without the other.
Then I don't want them.
Someone's had a problem and has reported it through the appropriate channels, and I've come across it, rather than someone running up to me going like, "Ah, Witcher, your actions have had consequences." It feels like the world has organically changed rather than just my life has organically changed. You know, like, that's great. I really like that. Is that Corinne? Oh, I like Corinne.
Witcher. Corinne, look who's come.
Live here together now? Didn't know.
Once you told me Sarah had been responsible for my nightmares, I decided to see if the devil's as scary as they paint him. Or her. I came in to find not a fiend, but our little Sarah. And I can't say why, but we took a liking to one another immediately.
Long ago, to isolate themselves from a world of beasts, humans began building cities. But since beasts prowl within stone walls as well as they do outside them, this did not allay human fears. The truth is, walls guarantee no one's safety. The place where you lock yourself in and lock all else out, that's not your home. Your home is sometimes a place you travel long and far to find.
Yeah, that was at the end of the previous stream, Percy. Did you not see that? Oh, was that it? Oh, okay. Alright, I take back all my praise.
Boom! Scare you.
It's like,
Yes.
there were consequences. Okay, sure. Oh, you fell asleep. All right. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah, I did that bit of the main quest. Yeah. That was it last night. I can't remember now. I think it was actually. Because I needed to get Corinne's help so that I could remember something. And then what ultimately ended up happening was that there was a cutscene of Dandelion that had no sound, so we couldn't hear what he was listening to. What am I doing? Broken Flowers.
Hey, you! Yes, you! You got water on the brain?
Oh, lovely. Oh, is that another innkeeper? Or is that the same innkeeper I've already done? Oh, it's the same innkeeper I've already done.
One drink all I had.
I'm conscious of trying to burn through as much main quest as possible while I'm streaming, and then doing stuff like on the side because what's this place here? It's just like, oh, this is the Cloud District. Don't get up here, don't get here often. Don't get up here often. Is that right? Is that? I think that's right. Do you not fondle merchandise? Merchant. Hey, buddy.
Don't be shy now. Looking just a thing. There's plenty to behold. This here's a collection of wonders that belong to the mage Eramas. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
How do you get a hold of these? Never heard of a mage willingly parting with his treasures?
No one asked Eramas his will. He was burned at the stake a fortnight ago.
Strange they didn't burn his stuff with him. Witch hunters let you resell it just like that?
Why wouldn't they? These are common goods, some valuable only as collectibles, perhaps.
All right, I get it. These items aren't actually common.
Rumor has it, each is an enchanted key.
Rumor happened to mention where to find the locks these keys open?
Sadly, no. Why, if I knew, you could hardly expect me to sell them.
Where did Eramas live?
At a lovely residence south of Oxenford. Badly damaged now, as he made the hunters pay dearly for his skin.
Oh, I've been there, yeah.
Show me what you have.
Load of random stuff. Potion of clearance. Oh. Oh, that's one use, presumably. Miraculous Guide to Gwent. Ah, that was the book I missed in the tutorial. Okay, well I'll buy these because I know the place that he's talking about.
Farewell. Statuette of a man. Wasn't carved but produced using magic. What about it?
I'll play him at Gwent since I'm here.
So,
To matters less controversial.
Oh, all the Gwent dialogue, all the like play me at Gwent dialogue is so bad. He's always like, fancy a game? Gwent, to be specific. Like, what? Terrible dialogue. Oh, what? Cancels my ability? What? That's terrible. How am I going to win without my ability? I might not be able to, actually. I mean, like, I'm usually quite dependent on it. Uh-oh. Ah. Could be worse. I'm gradually getting the hang of, like, don't play strong stuff because it might get hit by Scorch. Doesn't seem super likely to do it. Ooh, that is tough. That is a tough card. Jesus, 10 hero that resurrects. Strong play. I want more of these catapults. This is ridiculous. Like a 6 or an 8 that has bonding, or whatever that thing's called. Alright, which one of these is more? 10 is the bottom, isn't it? Yeah, no problem. Szilard Fitz Oosterlin. Gesundheit. Classic gag. Oh. We should have saved.
This Baronet's La Vallette's villa.
Shouldn't interest you. The Baroness don't mingle with just anyone.
Don't worry. I'm here to see your chambermaid, Molly.
Out of the way. Baroness is riding now. Be gone.
Geralt of Rivia at my doorstep? Surely this is no chance encounter?
Greetings, Baroness. Greetings, General. You're right. I'm here for a reason.
There's no mistaking you. But for etiquette's sake, Mary Louisa La Valette, an Imperial General and a Witcher meet. And know each other. Surprising.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to, talk when the Emperor summoned me to Vizima.
Had you run afoul of Var Emrys? No. You'd be long dead if that were so. It seems, then, that you share some interests. But I shan't question you out of doors. Will you accept my invitation? Tell me what brings you here.
Looking for a girl named Molly. Heard she works here.
My maidservant. I'm afraid she's currently at the home of my dear friend Patricia Vegelbud.
Perhaps Geralt could accompany us. He could speak with Molly at the races.
Is that something you'd consider, Witcher? Care to partake of some sophisticated diversion?
Well, if Molly will be there.
On our way, then.
Of course, Geralt knew the random lady. I'm not. I guess I can't tell with each of these conversations. I can't tell if it's someone that like I'm supposed to know from one of the previous games, or that I'm supposed to know from the books, or that I'm supposed to know from like they've made up a new character.
As a young girl, I'd travel there often to ride.
Shall we look at the horses? Do you like horses, Geralt?
I guess so. Called every horse I've had Roach.
The grey mare is Cantarella, sired by Kahir, the champion from Vol.
Grey's a nice color. For horses, too.
My coin's on the Black Stallion, Nemrod, purest Nilfgaardian stock.
Surprised he didn't salute you, General. Know anything about the Chestnut or the Bay?
The Chestnut is Thunderbolt, a pure-blood Retanian, gallant steed, but too headstrong for my taste, difficult to control. And the Bay hails from Zerrikania. Lord de Volte acquired him recently. I know little about him, though Zerrikanians are reputed to have incredible stamina.
Is Molly a horse?
Pardon?
I did come here to see Molly, after all.
Patience, Witcher. She ought to arrive soon. I asked Molly to join us as soon as she was done with her chores. She shouldn't be long now.
All depends what you asked her to do, milady. But I don't really have a choice. I'll wait. Seem to know your horses.
No is not the word. Morvran's a true expert.
I find them to be far more honest than men. Must say, I'm curious how you manage in the saddle, Witcher.
Mostly just try to stay in it.
What would you say to a little race?
Not what I came here for.
Don't make me beg, Witcher. Tell you what, win, and I shall give you my finest saddle. Made in Nilfgaard proper of beautifully tanned leather.
Sure, let's do that.
Why not? Wouldn't mind seeing if your knowledge of horses translates into riding skills.
Well said. So, which steed do you choose, Witcher?
Can I not just ride my own horse that I brought with me? No, apparently not. Nemrod.
The black's your favorite? Let's see what a Nilfgaardian stallion's made of.
I'll not race. However, I will wager on a winner. The grey mare's my choice.
In that case, I shall try my luck on the Zerrikanian Bay. I see no point in delaying this. Let's begin.
Is that a thing? A horse race where you've never ridden the horse before? That doesn't seem like it should be a thing. I guess it's a specific test of skill, in a sense.
Faster.
It's the fact that there's a stamina bar. I guess there is a little bit of steering involved, but...
Come on, Witcher! Let's see what you're made of!
Is he not just going to rocket past me as soon as my stamina bar runs out? Right. Yep. Like, this isn't cornering. Cornering seems quite straightforward. Ah, yeah, there we go. Hacks. Oh, look at that. That's riding skill. Ah. Absolute master of this technique.
What a thrill!
Fair and square.
A beautiful victory.
Thanks.
For one for whom every horse is a roach, you carry yourself exquisitely in the saddle. My congratulations. That is yours.
Oh.
Now, could I talk to your chambermaid, milady?
Ah, yes, Molly. That is why you came here after all. The portly young woman. That's her.
Speak to her. And you must find us when you're ready to return to Novigrad. We'd be delighted to join you for the journey.
Washed your hair lately?
That's really good that this kind of simple main quest where I just go around and talk to a bunch of people has suddenly taken a turn for the weird. That's great. That's really cool. Like, I've just done a weird little side quest and we've been teleported out into the countryside, and that's really nice. Makes it a lot less formulaic, and it means I don't go into a quest sort of cynically thinking, oh well, this is just a quest where I have to tick all these boxes.
I'm Molly, my lord. Wish to see me?
Call me Geralt.
Geralt! That Geralt! The one Dandelion's rescued time and time again!
That's me.
Wouldn't be here if not for Dandelion.
Told me all about your adventures.
Geralt's always wingmanning.
Battle with his songs. How he tamed the Kairan by playing his lute.
I meant that literally. Dandelion's why I'm here. Came to ask you about him. Know where he might be?
No. Sadly, I haven't got a clue. We've not seen each other in ages. The Baroness don't approve of our acquaintance. Says Dandelion's a good-for-nothing layabout. Can you imagine? But... or maybe his sister could help you. Such a nice girl.
You do realize Dandelion doesn't have a sister.
Sure he does. Saw him himself. Funny, she don't look like him at all. Blonde, for starters. Maybe they've different fathers.
Mm-hmm. Different mothers, too.
Maybe. But you could see he cares for her. Looks after her. The way he carried her packages and...
Know where I can find her, Dandelion's sister?
I know. Whenever I ask Dandelion when we visit her, he'd grow all quiet and then change the subject.
Any chance you remember your last conversation with Dandelion?
Of course. He came to borrow some coin for a barge.
What? Why do you need a barge?
To take me on a romantic cruise of the canals by the light of the moon. said there'd be strawberries and that wine with the bubbles, and he'd sing me arias. But I've not seen him since.
Thanks, Molly.
Wait, before you go, I've got a request. Dandelion told me once he'd show me his etchings, but he never did. And I'd so like to see them.
Won't be too hard to convince him. He loves showing off those etchings to anyone he can.
Oh, that's wonderful! Thanks, and good luck to you on your search.
Oh, I was muted. Percy said you sent me something on Discord. What is that? Go to where the one is and loot. At the portside gate. Fine. I'll climb. I'll just climb up to him. How do you get? How do you get up there? Oh, up the back way, right? Okay, fine.
Ah, Geralt, there you are. Shall we return together?
Gladly. It's a long way to Novigrad. Road ought to seem shorter with some company.
I'd say the same. Well then, let's go. And here we are. Thank you for your company.
Likewise. See ya.
This morning, my Greta came back from the market with news.
I mean, that was.
Mysterious murders happening in some house. Your Greta
I mean, I guess I did get a very strong personality from those characters in the sense that they just seem really nice, and like Geralt just got on with them really well, and there was absolutely no tension at all. So I guess that does count as characterization, but it's not particularly interesting. Like, I didn't really get any sense of like mystery or politics or anything like that. Where is it wanting me to go, Percy? Here, Portside Gate. Is there a fast travel near here? I'll finish this quest, and then next time I'm down in the next area in the region.
Have you heard? The witch hunters have burnt Aramis at the stake.
Now what harm did that poor... Look, look! He only divided from cheese, and that is...
beg your pardon. Did I hear you correctly? Did you say...
You'd think all of these people would play Gwent, really, wouldn't you?
Driving in slippery the boat. He's a top player. Crammed out the hole in the back wall.
Remember, it sounds like you might have been an acrobat.
Maybe so. Both misses are fond of freaks.
I like the shape of his armour.
Ears open and eyes peeled. For evil never sleeps.
What do you want?
I'm the new swordplay instructor.
Rosavar Atra's expecting me. Supposed to give her lessons in swordplay.
Come with me. Miss Rosa awaits.
Luckily, I was paying attention.
Won't you realise what you've got yourself into?
Hope so too.
Miss Rosa's got a downright beastly temper. Shows no mercy once she grips a sword. Grab a wooden one. Take care not to hurt the little miss. Learn the ambassador's ire. Follow me.
I hope this isn't going to be some weird Taming of the Shrew stuff.
You're my new instructor. Well, well, Papa clearly went out of his way this time. Wood, to start with. I must know your worth.
I'm really good at dodging and then getting hit, and then hitting you because the game is quite easy. That's my sort of technique. It's really effective.
Damn it! Well fought. You're much better than the last one.
I'm not actually your swordplay instructor.
Really? Then who are you? And how on earth did you get in?
I'm a witcher. I'm looking for...
A witcher? That's splendid. I always wanted to meet a witcher. This is so exciting.
What's so exciting about it?
Living on the edge. Tracking, then facing down beasts. Sleeping under the stars. Oh, it must be wonderful.
Try fighting a Zoogle while up to your neck in sewage. Nothing quite like it.
Not one of the high points, I suppose. Wait, weren't you about to ask me something?
Before I ask, gotta admit, you do pretty well with a sword. One pointer. Don't expose your left flank when you dodge.
Oh, I know. Terrible habit. Can't seem to get rid of it. I'd hoped to find someone in Novigrad who could help me to do so. But don't you dare try to dazzle me with advice. Already admitted you're not here to give me lessons.
I feel like I should... Well, no, to be fair, every time so far when I've said to the game, like, there should really be a bit of content where blah blah blah, it has actually provided it. So I am now anticipating a side quest after this where I can actually give her sword fighting lessons.
Came to ask about your rhetoric.
And I'm going to be super disappointed if that doesn't happen.
Rhetoric tutor? Good one. That is why Papa hired him, but not at all what the bard had in mind. He mostly played his lute and sang for us. I believe he thought he was wooing.
Mean he wasn't? But you had some sort of relationship.
If you call him chasing after me a relationship. Even so, there was nothing between us. Seems my sisters had a bit of fun at our expense. But enough chatter. Stand and fight. I demand a rematch.
We're not going to use metal swords this time.
Granted.
Oh. Ah, my controls aren't working. What the hell? Oh, she's picked up my technique! God damn it! That's better.
Damn it! Well, if you're not an instructor, you should certainly be one. Fancy giving me a few private lessons?
Can't rightly refuse a request from a lady.
What are you two lovebirds whispering about? You asked about my relationship with Dandelion? Well, here's the mix-up's mastermind. Edna var Atra, the greatest mischief maker north or south of the Yaruga.
Wait a minute. Mean to say Dandelion mixed you two up?
On occasion, yes. But then Rosa would quickly set him straight. If you'd shut your catty mouth for a moment, dear little sister, I could explain. Edna sent Dandelion some love letters. She signed my name. Conceited as he is, naturally he fell for it. I was left to repel the aging bard's advances. Rosa, I had the best of intentions, you know that. I felt you needed help taking the first step. You blushed every time he sang a ballad. He'll next sing at your funeral if you don't stop it right now.
Calm down, ladies. No poet's worth two sisters nipping at each other's throats.
Especially not this one.
Listen, I just want to know one thing. Either of you seen Dandelion lately?
Edna might have. I certainly have not. My dear sister, I would never spend time alone with a man for whom you burn with a secret passion. Burn with passion? For one who incessantly praises another woman's talents? Afraid I've more sense than that.
Dandelion act any different lately? Notice anything strange?
Strange? Not really. It's no Geralt. She's so enamored she'd hardly notice if he turned into a werewolf. Edna, what? You needn't pretend he followed convention. Remember when he took us to the cemetery?
Rhetoric lessons in a cemetery. Unusual even for Dandelion.
We set out to visit the graves of celebrated Oxenford professors. He ended up quizzing us about Margrave Henkel.
Who?
Eccentric old coot. Died recently. He'd apparently been an important and generous patron of the arts as a young man.
I'm not sure how I feel about with these, where the conversation's a bit more involved and it's just telling me which one to ask. It's a bit of a shame because it does sort of very clearly highlight, like the way I would normally structure a conversation like this would be like, either there are 4 things to ask and you ask all of them and then a 5th one appears, or there are 4 things to ask and you ask, you know, say half of them and a 5th one appears. It's kind of a shame that it's just like, sorry, there are definitely times when you want to move on with the conversation or allow the player to ask additional options. The structure itself isn't bad. Just in this one, it feels a little bit like I should maybe be exploring the conversation a little bit, teasing the information out of them rather than just diving straight in for the important question.
Bet sophisticated young ladies like you.
It's unimmersive in the conversation, you know, knowing which
Picked up a
question
few
is correct.
things. What would you like to know?
Wonder how the war's going. Any outcome looming?
Papa says much depends on Radovid, and on who captures Novigrad first.
What's Novigrad got to do with it? Free city. Never taken sides. Always stayed out of conflicts.
Oh, even children know Novigrad's home to the world's largest fleet. And they say the city's treasury's bursting with enough to equip 2 armies.
Emperor continuing to push north. Courtiers must be ecstatic.
His confidants must be. But Papa says that's not likely to last much longer.
Why not?
Papa says the war's disrupting trade, and people are tired of financing the Emperor's adventures.
Changing subjects. Who'd Dandelion sing about? Know anything about her?
I believe she's a poetess, or Trebaritz. Very skilled and exceptionally talented, of course.
This woman. Not a local, right?
I seem to remember him praising her melodious Kaviri accent. Makes sense. He referred to her as Kalonetta a few times. Bizarre names are common in Kavir.
Gotta ask Zoltan about this Kalonetta.
Wasn't she on my list?
Been a pleasure, but I've got stuff to take care of.
Exceedingly nice to meet you. Please come again. Well, can I expect any more lessons in future?
Awfully convincing, miss. Wonder where you learned it. Name the time and place.
House here, tomorrow. Same time as today.
See you then.
See you, Master Witcher.
Oh, they made it creepy now. I just want to give her some sword fighting lessons. I don't know how old he is. I'm assuming he's super old because I'm assuming he ages slowly because that's just how their characters always work. So I'm just assuming that he's not only looks old but he's way older. So I'm guessing she's like a quarter of his age or something like that. Marabella. Yeah, but I heard the... Oh, maybe I'm getting confused. I'm sure I'd heard that name already. He's in his 90s or something silly like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's... Like, it's just such a trope. Like, Geralt's such a... Like, I mean, I'd never... Before the computer... So, I became aware of the computer game because I was really into Neverwinter Nights. So I was aware of Witcher 1 as, like, the only major commercial project to use the Neverwinter Nights engine. So it was kind of significant for that reason. But I'd never heard of the IP before that. But he really is just such a collection of like absolute cliches. How do I get out of here? Have I come out the back door? Is that the problem? I think I've come out. I think I've come out the back door. Where's the front door of this house? There it is.
witch hunters have burnt Aramis at the stake.
Now what harm did that poor eccentric do anyway?
I'll come back here and explore around in more detail later. It's quite nice being, because of the way I'm streaming, like, and I'm sort of being dragged around by the main quest. It's quite nice, because this is kind of how you're supposed to play computer games, whereas I tend to play them more methodically, like, clear out each area before I move on to the next, as I was sort of talking about, complaining about with the city. Which means that I don't really experience the world very organically.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Marabella.
I am she. Wait outside. Class is in session.
I'll wait.
It won't take long. It turns out he'll not come after all. Why not? A rat bit him, and he's caught a fever.
Where'd he get bit?
It hurt him much. My
He
uncle's
died.
in the circus. Don't die
because
from
he
he
can
can
swallow
swallow
salt.
salt. Can you?
Yes, you do. Just the other day I saw a witch hunter tell a man, "You rat," and then he killed him.
Liar.
That's enough. We're done for the day. Gather your things and go home.
Wonder if the rat catcher will get well.
Like
She wasn't lying.
How do you know? Mum says that if he but catches a cough, he's as good as in the grave. Please, please, please.
That was a terrible line, terribly delivered.
Now can we talk?
Yes. What do you want?
I know you saw Dandelion recently.
Oh, yes. Longest afternoon of my life.
He read you his poems.
No. We perused the illustrated guide to fungi.
Maybe. No. Won't even try to guess why he wanted to do that.
Mold. That was his interest. When his hand abandoned my knee to point at a figure of penicillium, I knew the fire between us had died. Permanently.
Found a poem Dandelion wrote about you. Portrayed you as an unusually talented individual.
Really? Did he mention my poetry? Horses have always fascinated me. I've always longed to extol their noble beauty. Did you see any of my work at Dandelions? Mere exercises, true, but I'd be curious to know what you thought.
Oh, well, those are the other ones I found.
No. Didn't see any.
Gee up! A snakely whip.
No,
rose
okay,
the
maybe
herald.
not then.
Gee-haw, crack! She reined the beast in. The stallion danced betwixt her thighs. Lather bathed its chinny chin.
Sorry, don't know much about poetry. See Dandelion after the fungus incident?
No. I even considered granting him another chance. His heart of hearts is pure gold. He simply needs a bit more discipline in his life. But he never came back to see me. So I thought if it's done, it's done.
So if I was saying, like, I don't know who any of these characters are, and I don't know. I mean, okay, so I mean, you guys have told me that Dandelion must be a character from the books, but I don't think I ever met him in The Witcher 1. Or not that I remember. I remember Zoltan Chive from The Witcher 1, but I don't remember Dandelion. But if I approach the game as if I'm learning about these characters for the first time, which I essentially am, it's interesting to think about how they're being introduced to me. Like, it's not quite right. Like, I think if we assume that they're trying to reach an audience with The Witcher 3 who have heard that this is a good game series but aren't going to play all the previous ones, aren't going to read the novels, and at the time the TV series didn't exist, they've assumed a little bit hard. I quite like the confident voice of the of the player character just asserting information about something they know. But I feel like, I don't know, they're kind of teasing me with information about him, and it's good. Like, I'm gradually learning more about him implicitly. Like, they're doing exposition well. The fact that I've gone around to meet multiple women and they've all given me their opinion on him has given me quite a well-rounded picture of who he is, and that's really nice. Like, that's way better than someone just saying, here are some facts about Dandelion. But at the same time, I do feel a little bit too much like I'm playing catch-up. But as a way to, if we assume that it was a new character, I think they probably would have introduced the character slightly differently. But as a way of, as a way of telling me a lot about that character, I feel like I'm learning a lot. And I guess actually it's doing that with a lot of people. Like, it did that with Ciri as well, effectively. It's in a slightly different way. I know a lot about Ciri, even though technically we've never met. So that's quite nice.
Thanks for your help.
There was no actual quest. That was weird. None of those were marked as yellow. I guess because I didn't actually need to know any of it. How confusing. How do I get out of here? Is there a fast travel point? You'd think there'd be a fast travel point somewhere around here, wouldn't you? There's probably one at one of these gates. I'll run around that way. The women have given you something else I don't think you've noticed they gave you. They all pointed me towards Colonet.
Take care of yourself.
They each gave me a slightly different clue as to his activity. Like, I haven't been sitting and analysing it. Where am I going? You wanted me to go to Portside Gate and look for some loot, right? I'll do that now.
Bloke to tell me a witch's heart's cold to the woes of the common man gets my fist down his lying gullet.
It was in the nearby building. I guess in here.
You're a crossbreed, is that it?
Ah, yes, a dumpling. Horse whistler. Okay. So I'm missing 4 cards still from Velen. That's interesting. What am I looking for here? I mean, there's nothing else in this building.
Excuse me. As soon as we find the laboratory, we'll pick up our...
What shall become of Temeria? Oh, this looks more likely. Ah. That's a thing. We sold the artifacts we acquired during our last exposition at the Haraki Bazaar in Sidaris. Made only a modest profit, but a profit all the same. Dicker has come across information about a purported elven treasure hoard said to be hidden in the sewers beneath Temple Isle. To my thinking, these rumours might well be true. After all, human cities, Novigrad included, were built on elven foundations. So why should we not search for elven treasure beneath its streets? If but a tenth of what the tales say is true, this hoard contains enough riches to last us to the end of our days. Blah blah blah. Oh, hang on. Today is the first of Fian. We're setting out. Our party consists of Rian, Dicker, Maxi, Miko and me. The entrance to the underground passages was protected by an illusion. Luckily, Miko was able to dispel it. There truly must be something of value down here. We shall descend deeper. This does not look like a treasury. It's rather some sort of hospital or a laboratory. After this point, the entries are chaotic with many blots and incomplete words. A massacre. Only I could do nothing. The others, dead. All. The elves. That was their laboratory, and what we saw, he... I cannot sleep for the umpteenth night in a row. I see them all whenever I close my eyes. Rian, Dicker, Maxi, Miko, this insomnia is killing me, and that symbol, that cat, it stares at me. Here, kitty, kitty, meow. Right, yep, sure. Scavenger hunt, yep. I thought I already had that quest, or not? Definitely where you would expect to find cat school gear in an elven laboratory. Yeah, I hadn't gone and done the Catskill treasure hunt because I didn't want to accidentally stumble across loads of main quest stuff while I was in the city. I was a bit nervous about it. Yeah, I already had that quest. Weird. Yeah, I must have found it from somewhere else. Anyway, it's fine. Where am I going? Back to Old Zoltan. We have an artist called Zoltan. Can't remember what his mod name is. Might be Zoltan. It sounds like a fantastic evil wizard name. He's Hungarian, but it sounds like the name of an evil wizard. In fact, I think it might be the name of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I think his name might be Zoltan.
Darkness everywhere. How are you keeping, Bobby? Monsieur Zoltan, you old bum? What's this? Only even drunker water? Naughty bound. Now repeat. Avery crackers.
That bird's a jonker. Oh lord. He's refilled the place with alcohol. Thanks, Sultan. That's really helpful. You know how much I love alcohol. Cat is best until you get wolf. I'll go look for it once. Yeah, I'm hoping to clear out the Novigrad main quest, and then I can just explore the city.
You met Bobby? She want to start talking any day now.
Zoltan, venture to say a mage would have trouble turning that owl into a parrot.
Sure you know me that well? Mark my words, she'll be playing Gwent with us in no time. But we were to talk about Dandelion. So, how'd you do? Learn much?
Tell me what you've got first.
A few bruises and a torn doublet. Otherwise, not much a note. He wasn't staying with any of them. I've not seen hide nor hair of him in ages. All I learned was a few of Dandelion's pickup lines. Dubious worth.
Let's hear him. I'm all ears.
You know how he wooed a lass studying natural history? Asked her about the habits of trolls. You know where he went with the cook from the Passiflora? The Oxenford-Novigrad Road, which has just now been repaired. Made her stare for hours as labourers crushed boulders into cobblestones, trying to pass it off as a romantic outing. I don't know of a human woman, but that would bore a dwarven lass to tears. He's growing old, that poet of ours.
Maybe. Or maybe he did all that for a reason.
Sounds like you found something out.
Women on my list hadn't seen Dandelion in a while. All claimed he had been acting strange. Also mentioned he'd been seeing someone else. Thing is, Mystery Woman wasn't on my list.
What's she supposedly like, this lass?
Blonde, from Kovir. A Troberids, apparently, named Kalanetta or something like that.
That makes it clear as crystal. It's Priscilla. Aye. Must be her.
Why wasn't she on the list?
Miss Priscilla wasn't like the others. I think Dandelion more than fancied her. I think it was fair for her.
He lusts after every other woman he meets.
How can I explain? Who does Dandelion love most?
Himself.
Exactly. And she's his mirror image.
What can I say? Could be he finally met his match.
She's his match, all right. Maybe more. The laddie's head's on fire. Lassie's got him whirling.
All right. Guess we gotta talk to her.
Priscilla works for the Mummers troupe. Reynard and the Foxen. Whenever they're in town, she performs nightly at the Kingfisher.
Mean we've been sentenced to an evening of poetry?
Must you always? This'll be true poetry, Geralt. You'll see.
The Kingfisher after sundown. It's 1 a.m. It's after sundown.
Life's wet enough in the gutter.
I mean, if I put my critic hat on, how does that? I mean, what the structure of that, right, is like, you know, I collected all the clues. So I guess there's a couple of different ways you can look at that, right? Like, it worked well in the sense that there was a good reason why I needed to talk to everybody. I learned a whole load of clues, and then someone else put the clues together for me.
Here already. Come on, let's find some arse rests. Should start soon.
These scars long have yearned for your tender caress, to bind our fortunes. Damn what the stars own. Rend my heart open, then your love confess, a winding, weaving fate to which we both atone. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent berries are lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. The wolf I will follow into the storm.
Isn't that the Beggar King?
Your heart, its passion displaced by our ever-growing, hardening into stone. Amidst the cold, to hold you in a heated embrace. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and
They've written each of these as an individual dialogue line, so they're not quite flowing properly. That's a shame.
glistening as you weep.
Must be just how their engine works.
Not if fate would have us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been bound. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found? You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep.
I know him! 'Twas him murdered some Temerian boys back in White Orchard.
Silence, woman. We've come to hear music.
A murderer? Ron, some die.
Oh, please, argue this out elsewhere.
Squabbles and rows again. And I was told this was a decent establishment.
If I know Geralt, he risked his noggin to save someone else's arse.
Save, you say? He murdered folk.
That's probably true, to be honest.
Don't let him provoke you.
There's the door. Settle this outside.
Come. I wish to listen to music. Music!
Cultural capital of the world? The fuck it is.
Permits me to introduce this here's Priscilla. So as Calinetta. As lovely as she is talented. And this
is Geralt of Rivia, I know. Dandelion's told me a great deal about you, and I've listened with bated breath. Don't be surprised. After all, doubt I could think of a more fitting subject for a ballad than a witch's love for a sorceress. Or should I say, sorceresses.
Seems Dandelion was meticulous in telling my story, down to personal and insignificant details. Did he offer anything about himself, like where he was going?
Splendid. Very funny, truly. So, see you later.
Not here. Come with me.
There a reason for all this sneaking around?
An excellent one. When last I saw Dandelion, he told me he was planning a heist. Siggy Reuven's vault.
sheepdip.
And I've not seen him since.
I like the like it was a neat, like, that's basically like the noir scene, right, where the girl sings on the piano. Although normally you'd be trying to like it's kind of meaningless within the structure of the story if Geralt isn't infatuated with her as a result, which he doesn't seem to be. So like, that's kind of the point of that kind of scene. It seems like they were just kind of doing the scene for the fun of it. I mean, it sells me a little bit on the character. I know that she's a solid bard, but I get the impression it's just there for the fun of a song rather than because it has significance to the plot. But maybe I'm wrong. They did do the fencing lessons, so they've earned my benefit of the doubt now. That's how it works.
Reuven, what's he like?
Tall, fat, dangerous as hell.
Limp in his gait. Left leg.
Sounds like a lame rock troll.
If trolls were devilishly intelligent and had a flair for crime, yeah, I'd agree.
Dandelion breaking into a vault. I'd sooner expect him to choose a life of celibacy.
True. Forgot to pay for his way into Passiflora once. Laid awake the next 3 nights worrying about it.
Any idea what got in? You have debts he needed to pay off?
Claimed he was helping someone. Urgent matter that couldn't wait, he said.
This someone, Dandelion mentioned their name?
No. But if I know Dandelion, it's her name he failed to mention. As he failed to mention her slender waist and ample bosom.
Let me guess. Attempted heist was a failure.
Well, he's not driven up in a gilded carriage laden with jewels, so I should think so. I've asked after him everywhere, but it seems an army of tongue-stealing cats has overrun the city. I learned only that he raised a ruckus at Whoreson Jr.'s lair. Then Whoreson's men chased him all over town.
Whoreson Jr. Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, we know him already.
Biggest prick in Novigrad. Not literally, but...
Got it. You're not a fan. But what did he do to you?
Try the whole town. He's one of 4 bosses who control the city's underworld. The others being Siggy Reuven, Carlo the Cleaver Varese, and the King of Beggars.
The rascal. At least they didn't cross the church as well. Bring that venerable institution into it. We'd be in deep then.
Here I go again, rushing to Dandelion's rescue. He ought to pay me a salary.
Wherever he is, I sincerely doubt he's in the mood for jokes. Nor am I, in fact.
Relax, I'll get him out of this. Gotta talk to this Whoreson first. And Siggy Reuven. Know where I might find them?
I don't know about Whoreson, but Reuven runs a bathhouse. Careful, though. He's a dangerous character.
So am I.
I don't doubt it. But Dandelion's not. I beg you to hurry it. Let me know as soon as you learn anything.
It's interesting thinking about.
Bugger all to do here. Heading back to the Rosemary. Got Poppy to feed. And then I suppose I'll wait. See if our warbler don't come home on his own.
Like gameplay-wise, this is actually structured a lot like a RuneScape quest. Like, a conventional RPG. This is an RPG with a combat system, combat progression mechanics, etc., etc., etc. But it isn't integrating. I don't want to say like. Okay, you could phrase it as a negative that it isn't integrating its gameplay into its storyline particularly well. So it's having to give me lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of side content to do to surely you can find another way to solve your old friend's problem. Like if you think about the way Mass Effect, say, is structured, like Mass Effect is basically like have a conversation, walk down a corridor, kill some guys, have another conversation, etc., etc. This game isn't alternating in gameplay and story, or at least there are huge chunks of story followed by huge chunks of gameplay. It makes sense that arriving in the city, you know, there wouldn't be so much of an emphasis on adventuring, and but that's another reason I'm not super keen on cities in games, because you know the good balance of gameplay and storytelling tends to get a little bit thrown off. But I guess, yeah, I would have expected to have, because there's been a couple of punch-ups, right? A couple of very brief punch-ups. I don't streaming a couple of hours, right? And like in those couple of hours, I must have spent about an hour and a half watching dialogue and about 30 minutes fighting. I mean, I guess some people would be like, well, that's awesome. That's what they want from an RPG, and it reminds me of RuneScape in that sense, where we don't like, you know, like we don't bulk out our quests by just filling them with combat like an Elite Dungeon.
Anybody there? Open up.
I might have to stop soon.
What's the fuss? The bathhouse is closed.
Need to talk to the owner. I know he's here.
I'm not sure that matters, as he's terribly busy.
Busy? With what?
Entertaining important guests.
In that case, tell him there's another one at the door. Geralt of Rivia. And I'm not leaving till I see him.
Get the armor diagrams. You want me to go around and get all of them? Alright.
Siggy Reuven cordially invites you to join him. I'm happy. The meeting is in the baths. We will pass through the dressing room so you can leave your clothes.
Let's go.
Classic. Classic crime lord scene. I mean, can I just leave again? Yep, I can just leave again. Okay, I'll go get this cat gear then. What am I doing? Treasure hunt, cat school gear. Oh, I can't actually wear it yet, but I guess I'll find it in time, and then I'll craft it, and then I'll be able to wear it as soon as I level up. So there's one all the way over there. Yeah, so I was put off doing that one because it sounded really complicated. Like it sounded like the kind of thing where it sounded like it might need a dungeon experience in order to get to it. It's, I guess, yeah. Well, I'll keep rambling about quest line. Like I don't think it is a criticism exactly to say that the gameplay and the story aren't particularly well integrated. It's more a commentary on the game. As far as pacing goes, you know, it's nice to have things like just paced a little bit. Oh, Percy said just the ones nearby. I think the full set is in one place. Oh, okay. Percy said I'm not a fan of cities. Oh, the God Wars destroys Varrock. So it's not that I don't like cities at all. So funnily enough, the Long Neverwinter Nights campaign that I wrote was set entirely in a city, like it was an urban adventure, with very little. Like you go occasionally out into other places, but they're like little. You go on like a little excursion to a forest, and then you mostly come back to the city again. It's not. It's the way that cities are used typically. Is like extremely dense content, winding streets, lots of rooms, lots of buildings you can just explore. But then the city is typically laid out in an intentionally sort of disorganized fashion, so that it's very difficult to track where you haven't explored already. Deus Ex Mankind Divided was an absolute nightmare because it just had this incredibly dense, like, it was more or less like a project management problem to try and kind of explore everything and find everything. And again, I mean, that's good if you want to like hide content away, and sort of a player who explores thoroughly is still going to miss stuff because you want your game to feel big and oh, whoa. Oh, I found the way in, though. When did I save? So I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, so it's the way that cities are built in typical RPGs, which would include this. Like, almost struggling to think of an RPG I've played that doesn't structure it that way, you know. But like, way back here. Right, let's try this again, shall we? ACS said, I appreciate not having a super clear formula for quests. Yeah, it's difficult, really. Like, you know, it's the same here, right? It's like the content is higher quality, arguably. Like, I don't know, it depends what you think. Like, I didn't have a problem with, like, Mass Effect 2. I rant about Mass Effect 3 a bit. Mass Effect 2 I really, really enjoyed. And that breakup, you know, I can play a walking simulator. I can play... There are games with just dialogue. Like, there are games that only have dialogue, like visual novels. There are games that almost only have dialogue, like walking simulators. Playing an RPG, I kind of want, you know, there's that formula works, you know. It's not like, it's not arbitrary. The formula of sort of a little bit of gameplay and a little bit of a strong premise for the gameplay, but then gameplay that supports the premise and makes you feel, you know. So I've really enjoyed the quests in this where I you know, they're getting a bit generic now, but the first couple where I like, you know, oh, someone's been murdered, well, I'll follow the tracks, try and figure out from the clues what the monster is. Geralt tells me what the monster is. Now, hang on, I'm just going the same way I went before, aren't I? Which is foolish, because I'm going to die again. What do I need to do here to get down? Is there a way down? Doesn't super look like it.
Rain. The one thing that's plowing through in this city.
Percy said, most MMOs I've played seem to be going from area to area, people in the area telling you kicks X amount of Y, maybe interact with Z number of objects in the area. Yeah, that's the default. And that's like an extreme example, like in Secret World you get a little cutscene, like you get quite a well written cutscene, which then tells you to go and kill X in the area. In Star Wars: The Old Republic you get like a conversation that you get to have with the NPC, which then tells you to go and kill X in the area. What am I doing here? cat school. Probably find I can't get back up now. In WoW, you get like a single panel, like a single panel of text in most cases, like a single like beige scroll with some dialogue on it. Not even nothing resembling a conversation or cutscene or anything like that typically. The problem with the RuneScape model, like, so set aside like pacing and that kind of thing, the problem with the RuneScape model is it just makes it much harder to produce content. Like, the same amount of dialogue and bespoke gameplay. I don't think I can get back up here, can I? I've come too far down. Let's try that again. You know, the nice thing about generic gameplay kind of sucks because it's generic. But the nice thing about generic gameplay is that you can bulk out content such that you get, like, bulk makes it sound bad. Like, I don't think Mass Effect 2 would have been improved if they'd taken all the combat out of it. Even though the combat was fairly generic and it was the same relatively small set of NPCs repeated again and again and again, I enjoyed the gameplay of Mass Effect 2. It contributed to my game experience. And it was a significantly longer, more involved game than it would have been without that gameplay. It's harder to produce quality, engaging gameplay, you know, bespoke quality, engaging gameplay, and you know, frankly, we often fail to do so, right? Like we try, but because we're like, game development is fraught with like experimentation. Like, everything's always an experiment in game development, unless you're very closely copying an existing formula. Like, if we even, like, looking at Mass Effect again, like, you know, Mass Effect 1's gameplay was terrible, and then they polished it and refined it in Mass Effect 2, and then arguably polished and refined it further in Mass Effect 3, and, you know, by the time they'd gone through 3 AAA games, they actually had really solid, enjoyable gameplay. You can't ad-lib something like that for a one-off RuneScape quest. It just doesn't work. You're never going to get something that enjoyable. An illusion. What are you hiding? Oh. Something bad in here. What do I think of darkness as a mechanic? Good question. I prefer more. I think darkness is an underutilized gameplay mechanic in games in general. The total darkness. I don't like dimness. I think, you know, the joke about, like, the game always tells you to set your brightness incredibly low, and then you set it up a bit so you can actually fucking see anything in the game, because it's always completely impossible to see. So, like, you know, when an area is sort of dim and kind of hard to make out, that's largely just annoying. And I'd rather have like, so the fact that this game highlights, I don't think I've complimented it actually, but the fact that this game highlights items you can pick up is fantastic. Like, I hate it when games don't do this, and I'm supposed to, like, just scour everything, hoping that I don't miss things. Total darkness, where you actually just can't see anything unless you're using a torch or you know, light source, I think is really underutilized. I seem to have come to the wrong place. Oh no, something here. Invoice for a golem. that the golem I just killed? I guess so. But... Oh. Oh, hello. I mean, it depends. It depends on how the darkness is used, right? So, like, if you give the player darkness and then you give the player tools to see in the darkness, like a vision mode, like a lot of games now have like a vision mode where you can see in darkness, and then there might be a room where you just have to turn on that vision mode. Almost every game I've played with a vision mode like that, using the vision mode is annoying and uncomfortable, and you'd rather play with it off because it makes it really hard to see. The biggest for that would be something like a Predator game where you're supposed to be playing as a Predator, but you don't play with the Predator vision mode on because you can't bloody see anything with the Predator vision mode on. But it applies to, like, you know, most, like, I think it was a criticism of Arkham Asylum, I think, that you generally just walked around with the augmented vision on all the time. So then in the second two games they made it more annoying so that you couldn't see properly with it on, so you had to keep flicking it on and off, which is even more annoying. Like, I don't like that. Doesn't feel like a good solution at all. So in that sense, like, I don't think darkness is useful if you always have a way to just automatically see through it. Then other than a little bit of, I guess, aesthetic flavour, key required, other than a bit of aesthetic flavour, it's not really doing very much for you. Again, it's just like, you might as well just say, like, oh, well, this level can only be seen in, like, night vision green. So, you know, you might as well build the level on the assumption that the player is only, you know... And that can be, like, something like Splinter Cell, I feel like, used that as an aesthetic. Like, in Splinter Cell, having your night vision goggles on was, like, a key part of the aesthetic of the game. And that's fine, it makes perfect sense. So, like, I think I'd probably want darkness to be a little bit more of a mechanic. So in, I mean, Neverwinter Nights is the one I'm familiar with. I would build mazes and have them be in total darkness, and then the player has to carry a torch in their offhand. Look to the depth to be lifted up. The player has to carry a torch in their offhand. It's very small, but it is a mechanical difference. You know, you need to carry a torch. You can't use something else in your offhand. You can't carry a two-handed weapon. You could argue that's quite bad game design because it meant that, I mean, if you had a two-handed weapon, you needed a light spell or some other source of light. Percy said, what about Pokemon with Flash? Flash is slightly different in that Flash is like an imaginative way, because all the Pokemon HMs are like keys, basically, that you need to get through doors. They're mostly quite imaginative doors. As per the instructions of our supervisor, Irenaeus von Sterngard, we've conducted a series of studies on the genotype of the creatures commonly known as drowners, sadly administering a poison made of fugu fish induced a coma in all the specimens in the study. After 24 hours, the vital functions of all above-mentioned specimens cease, preventing us from continuing the study. Oh, okay, so it is in fact a laboratory. Oh, puzzle. This Wraith does not like me dicking about with his statues. Whoa. Mysterious recipe. Dear Pascal and Timo, I've got a bit of time between these treatments. I have to administer to these stinking drowners, so as promised, I'm writing you the recipe for my famous spiced chicken and pumpkin stew. Pumpkin, chicken thighs, mix of exotic spices, milk of the Cocos nucifera. What? The remainder of the list is illegible. I'm sure you'll figure out the process on your own. What? Okay, sure. That's an obtuse puzzle solution. I mean, normally what I would do is just turn all the statues to face the middle. It said in the darkness, look to the bottom, didn't it? Look to the depths to be lifted up. That doesn't... It's not really a depths. Let's try facing them all inwards and see if that helps. I mean, you know, theoretically you can navigate I did try a little bit once. Theoretically, you can navigate Pokemon dungeons that require Flash without Flash. That sounds horrible. You could argue, I think I wouldn't, but you could argue that like the ability to do it is just a horrible UX problem for the game. The fact that you can try means you're extremely likely to just get lost and stuck permanently. I mean, Pokemon's a horribly unfriendly game, in the you know, just God. I've tried to get my kids to play it, and it's just Pokemon is so bad as a children's game. They love Minecraft, my kids, and they've started on Roblox now, which is probably not a good thing. Well, let's hope this works. Hey, it did work. Oh, cool. Oh, it's full of fucking drowners. Of course it is. Where's my crossbow gun? This mechanic where like all crossbow hits underwater hit him, kill in one hit, even though above the water the crossbow is nigh useless. It's not super convincing, to be honest. I think I'd rather they just hadn't bothered to include underwater combat. Like, I mean, I guess it's like a little bit like, well, there are drowners. Shouldn't drowners exist underwater? But I don't know. Yeah, it feels a bit. Also, the crossbow is just you kind of like using the crossbow a lot. It's just really awkward to use because I haven't figured out how to manually reload it. So sometimes it seems to just automatically reload, and sometimes I have to reload it myself. Is that it? Key. Okay. There's a trope there. I mean, this is a drowner laboratory. That makes sense. But this thing said, look at the depths to be lifted up. Oh, is that graffiti written by? But who wrote that? I mean, this is the kind of feedback I would give at work, right? Like, who wrote that and why? Like, whoever it is that wrote that, why did they graffiti it on a slab? It's just such a weird thing for someone to do. I feel like you've got to do the work for like why does the puzzle clue exist, not just give the player the puzzle clue. We know there was an expedition here before and they were a bit stuck, but if if it was them, then why did they write it in such an obtuse way? You can explain that kind of clue away. They don't seem to have done so. All right, here we go. This is neat. This is a little adventure. Like, it's a lot more interesting than some of the. I've been stumbling across upgrade gear, and the upgrade gear is just all sort of hidden in random places for no reason. I'd forgot because I think the Griffin School was actually kind of a little bit of a quest, wasn't it? Oh, hello, Mad Kian. Hey, bud. Oh. Ah! Quick, spam drink water. Oh god. He hits hard. Should have been playing like Bloodborne. If I'd just gone mental, I decided to stop and try and parry him and stuff and be fancy, and I should have just hit him, and then he would have died. That's a fascinating topic. Games where you have to be proactive versus games where it's better to sort of pace yourself and be reactive.
Come on.
Whoa. Whoa. Oh, I didn't have Quen. Yeah, I thought I had Quen active. Oh, has he got Quen active? What a dick. Oh, my parrying is so bad. The reason I don't parry in games is because my reaction times are so bad. Do you see that? I tried to parry every single one of those strikes and failed all of them. Oh, I got one of them. I should put a decoction as well. This is quite a serious fight. What do I have? It's been ages since I had a fight. Talking about like gameplay being integrated. I mean, like even if you're not going to space the game out with trash fights and stuff, like given how long I've been in the city, I would have expected at least one kind of interesting. What kind of creature is he? Is he a human or non-human? I think he probably is. And then I need. Oh God, honestly, there are way too many of these now. Like I have a huge number of them. They have completely unmemorable icons. The names of them don't help at all either. Like how the hell am I supposed to know like oh, werewolf decoction, yeah, obviously that's the one that does X. Like this is just awful from a UX point of view. Vitality regeneration. I have one that's like when you take damage you put up a shield. Which one is that? Can't remember now. Damage dealt when vitality is at maximum. Obviously that's the ideal. Taking damage increases sign resistance? No. Damage dealt to foes regenerates vitality. Isn't it the one I've already got equipped? Oh, it's the one I've already got equipped and I just haven't rested. Okay, can I back off and rest? I'm sure he won't mind. Oh, it's probably worn off my... Oh, it hasn't. Okay. Ah, haven't I got Quen selected? God damn it.
What? Lost your nerve?
Yeah, like one good parry and then just murder the shit out of him. Fascinating. Moonblade. Oh, I'm not going to read all of this. Blah blah blah, massive backstory. Hooray, I have some feline trousers. Where else am I supposed to be going? Estaia. Was that the bit you wanted me to do? Percy, or do you want me to go get the rest of it as well? But yeah, that was, I mean, in terms of like, yeah, like pacing of content and stuff, that was a fun little adventure. Like, the puzzle was a tad simple, but there was a good mix of combat and exploration. I had to find my way in. Fun little dungeon. I mean, it's dungeon. It's a really simple dungeon, right? But it was plenty. It just, yeah, it strikes me that the game breaks up its content a lot. I mean, there were 3 drowners. Like, there was no trash in that dungeon. And you can say, like, oh, it's great, you know, trash sucks. But, like, actually, like, just killing a few drowners at the entrance or something would have been quite rewarding, I think. It's interesting how they've chosen, I mean, sorry, I don't mean this as a criticism, but it's interesting how they've chosen to approach their content. you know, there's an enormous amount of trash content in the game, but it's not used to block the good content or the, you know, the more significant content. I've killed thousands of drowners, but not on my way to important places. And even you know, I feel like the most significant thing we've done so far is like return to Crookback Bog, and even then it was like just quickly murder a few things, and there are hundreds of NPCs to help. Where am I going? I need to get to a. Are there really no fast travel points on this fucking island? I haven't found any yet. How annoying. I kind of like it. I like this sort of built into a cliff sort of style of it. Ah, there's one. Perfect. I've got some people to go and play at. Where was I before? Was I... Oh, I was here before. Okay, I never actually made it up here. Oh, I'll have to come here and look again. Oh, hang on. I didn't check my quest marker. Oh, is there a... Oh, Estaya. Oh, I tried to go there, I think. Maybe I missed it. I did find one piece while I was just randomly exploring. Oh yeah, I came here. I remember this. Explore the ruins of Estaya. Oh yeah, this was locked when I came here before. Yeah, there was a portal and I couldn't get through it. Still can't get through it. Do I need to... Don't see anything on my Witcher vision. Oh shit, it's midnight. I need to go take my daughter to the toilet. I will be back in 5 minutes to try and figure out how to get into this cave. Oh, it says go high for the quest. Right. Back in 2 minutes. Oh, did I miss something? An Ardwall. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and it's literally, the marker's literally pointing to it as well, yeah. I mean, yeah, like it's, yeah. Oh, it's another massive, massive law book. You know my feelings on law books. What's that symbol? Don't know what that is. And now I have to go to Drahim Castle. Where's that? Oh. Oh yeah, I've been there too. Must have missed the... Oh, was that a quest that I was avoiding on purpose? No. There was one quest I was avoiding on purpose because it's got some friend, Lambert. And it seems like I'm supposed to not do it yet. Yeah, I killed a ghoul here. How did I miss a piece of cat gear? Right, I definitely need to stop after this, I'm getting very tired. Oh.
Might want to look around some.
Thanks, Carol. Did I just miss another wall? Probably. Oh. No, apparently I just never came down this one at all. Wow, that was pretty sweet. Can't see a damn thing down here. Oh, there's another way down. How exciting. Something. All this Witcher set stuff feels very contrived, but it's fine. Like, it's that kind of game. I think it's genuinely crazy hard to write like a compelling, non-contrived reason why there would be multiple sets of gear. You know, like some schmuck was like tasked with the job of like, oh, here's today's job. Like, write little quests explaining why there are little plans for Witcher gear all over the world for no particular reason, because we need that for gameplay purposes. Like, I'm not going to criticize her for like not writing an amazing piece of literature when tasked with something like that, because it's so obviously gameplay first. Wait, I don't remember climbing down this many. I didn't climb down this many ladders. Where am I going? Oh, I'm up in the top of the tower now. Oh, that's lovely. I love that sound of the wind and rain. The torch makes it very dramatic. Unfortunately, I'm going to need to figure out how to get down again. Oh, that. I thought I was being silly by trying to loot that, but actually it turned out that really was worth looting. Oh, there's another way up. I've got more like recipes out of that tower than from the previous like 4 hours of gameplay. Oh god, there's even more of them. And more. What the hell? This tower's crazy. Still haven't got much red mutagen. Fiend decoction. Enhanced Spectre Oil. Draconid Oil, I need ergot seeds, which I'm sure I could go round an alchemist and buy. Did I switch out my saddle? I won a good one in the race. No, I don't think I did. Let's go have a look. Enhanced Cat. How exciting. An Enhanced Swallow, that's probably pretty good, right? Anything else I can almost make? Bunch of stuff here I'm assuming I'll come across eventually. I think I could just go to an alchemist and buy almost everything fairly quickly. But I kind of feel like there's a sort of natural progression in naturally coming across ingredients, so I feel like I'll just roll with that. Oh yeah, I need to switch out my saddle. What? I just have to check every floor of this tower now incredibly carefully because it's like the absolute motherload. What on earth? Alright, and I checked down there already. Yeah, okay. What a crazy tower. Like, that was ridiculous. I got like 20 recipes out of that. I mean, half of them were like useless armor recipes, right? But even so, that's pretty amazing. No. Okay, sure. Mate, you've been patrolling around outside this tower for God knows how long. You didn't find all the sweet loot in there, did you? Because I'm confident that the lore books I just found talk about how valuable all these recipes are. Right, where am I going? I need to go craft this stuff. I get the swords crafted at... Oh, I don't want to run all the way into Crow's Perch. Is there someone in Oxenfoot who can do it? I think there is. I like the dwarf at Crow's Perch, but he lives too far from the fast travel point. Way too far. Although actually, can the guy here do that? I'm not sure he can actually. I don't remember. Oh yeah, Oxenfoot, Oxford. I'd missed that. Yeah, of course it is.
Will you
Can he craft some cat swords? Yes, he can. Right. Luckily, he's very good at his job. Right, what do we got here then? Take some silver, some ruby dust, some monster eyes. Yeah, no problem. And then a feline steel sword. Take some iron. Not steel, like you'd have thought. No, iron. Some ruby and some monster saliva. Of which I of course have plenty because I'm very discerning. Whenever I kill a monster, I collect some of its saliva just in case I need it later to make a sword with. It's weird that there's all like... I guess I don't really object, but it does seem like complete waste of content. Like, it creates like the ability to loot recipes that allow me to make weapons that I definitely don't want, because why on earth would I ever not be using like witch gear? It's strange. It's a strange, like it's a sort of non-reward space. Reward space technically does exist. Oh, the crossbow is what? The crossbow's level 29. Why? What? That's so random. It's part of the same set, or it's part of the same quest. Why? And it costs nothing to craft. It costs almost nothing to craft, but it requires what? That's so weird. I'm not going to make that for now, because what's the point? That's strange.
Farewell.
Not really a fan of that. But I mean, there's no point upgrading my crossbow anyway, right? Because it never kills anything. Like I'm using a level 7 crossbow, and all I use it for is shooting down harpies and like killing underwater drowners.
What are you looking at?
Where's the armourer? There he is. Hey, buddy.
Everyone to me! To me!
Greetings again. Zip.
I do, in fact.
You're in luck.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Right, what do we got? Feline boots. Yeah, dark iron ore for the feline boots. Interesting. Feline armor. Ah, see, I do have a shirt. Wait, I have another one. I saved a shirt in my stash in case I needed it. Dark steel plates. They sound fancy. Feline gauntlets. Some nails. Sure. It's a bit like, I don't know, I mean, like, the way I approach crafting, I mean, like, I got to do a bunch of this with the mining and smithing rework, right? Like, and the way I mean, obviously, the masterwork didn't end up being that complicated, but the way I like to think about that kind of content is like, it's kind of a task to go and get this stuff. Like, Masterwork was written on that basis. You didn't have to provide a load of weird random stuff, because we didn't want to make a mess of the economy and suddenly, like, spike the value of random things. But you did have to collect, you know, it was supposed to be a bit of a task to collect together the ingredients. You're supposed to look at the Masterwork ingredients and go, right, okay, I'm going to have to go and get all of these bars so that I can make this armor. And this doesn't seem designed in that way. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just the way maybe I'm playing the game in a really weird way. But I feel like, you know, every time I've come to craft something, I've just had all of it because, like, maybe there's an entire playstyle where you just never loot any boxes or crates, and therefore you never have anything, and so you have to. But then if I didn't have this thing, I would just buy it from this guy, right? Like if I want, like. If I want dark iron ore, I just buy it from this man. So it's not super interesting to find these ingredients. I don't know, it just doesn't seem... It's not adding very much, this crafting system. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not like... There's a lot that a crafting system can do for a game, and so far this doesn't really do anything. Final upgrade needs a ton of stuff, shops have limited stock. So you just like... farm it and then wait and then farm some more. Mahakaman trousers. Anyway, there we go. Right. Nice.
So long.
So I've now got some cat armor to put on when I hit level 17. There it is. Beautiful. So that's quite a big upgrade. Neat. Chance to cause bleeding. It's got chance to cause bleeding instead of sign intensity. I mean, that's I'm forgetting to use my signs anyway. Like, that's quite a good bonus for me. Attack power instead of sign intensity, and it's just better. Yeah, sure. After using, so it's weird that the stat bonuses don't work. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, mostly I'm just expecting. Oh, is it getting a damage penalty because it's below 50% durability? Is that what that's saying? Ah, okay. It's not just showing that it's nearly broken. Because the cost to repair is actually quite significant. Or at the start of the game, the cost to repair was quite significant.
Show me what.
So I was intentionally not repairing things because I was quite likely to replace them. But I guess that's now no longer the case. But given that I am about to replace all of this gear at level 17,
so
I should probably not. And given that the main quest probably just isn't going to have any fighting on it. Anyway, right, yeah, I should go to bed though. Really. What am I gonna do? Yeah, so I feel like I can explore. I've now run to every corner of Novigrad. This stuff is all so much high level. I might, maybe next time I should go to Skellig to unlock Skellig, because I have to say, like, I'm kind of enjoying the like roam around and grab stuff gameplay kind of more. I mean, the plot stuff's fine, but it's not like that's kind of what I mean about integrating the gameplay with the plot a bit more. Like, it's very separate at the moment, which actually weirdly suits the way I'm streaming, but it means I'm never actually getting into fights or anything. It's going to be strange, except very occasionally, you know. Right, I should leave it there then. Good night, everybody.